Dark tears. The beginning of spring was a hopeful time for the small town. However, this year's spring seemed to weigh heavily on the town. Flowers had bloomed and birds sang, yet there was a sadness in Elyas's eyes that everyone noticed. Elyas was only 16 years old. Her hair was wavy and brown, and her face was delicate but pale. Her eyes seemed to carry a loneliness reflected in a dark lake. She had bruises on her arms and legs. These were neither marks from a fall nor from a collision. Each bruise had become a part of Elyas's life. Elyas's father had once been one of the most beloved men in the town. However, an inner emptiness and darkness had tormented him. Alcohol addiction had gradually consumed him and turned Elyas's home into a hell. Her mother had passed away years ago, leaving Elyas and her father alone. Her father, once a loving dad, had become someone who directed his anger and resentment at Elyas. One evening, her father shattered the liquor bottles and went into a fit of rage. Elyas tried to stay locked in her own room that night. However, her father's destructive anger seeped through the door. She cried silently, holding her head in her hands. The bruises on her arms and legs were not from falls or bumps. Each bruise was a part of her father's wrath. One day, the town began to understand the suffering Elyas had endured. Her teacher drew attention to Elyas's situation in class. Elyas was afraid of drawing the attention of her schoolmates, but her teacher offered help. However, Elyas's father rejected this help and made the situation even worse. One morning, Elyas arrived at school looking pale and tired. Her classmates noticed that she was in deep pain. One day, a classmate noticed the bruises on Elyas's arms and legs and reported it to the teacher. The teacher went to Elyas's home to try to help her. Elyas told the teacher about her father's rage and her own nightmares. The teacher referred Elyas to social services. Social workers investigated the situation in Elyas's home and prepared an official report about her father's behavior. Elyas's father was eventually brought to justice, and Elyas was placed with a foster family. Her new family provided her with a loving home, and Elyas finally began to find peace. However, Elyas's past and the pain she had endured would always be a part of her. Slowly, Elyas tried to find peace in her new home, but the pain from her past would not leave her alone. One night, she awoke with a terrible headache. The bruises had become painful reminders on her body. Doctors admitted Elyas to the hospital for treatment, but unfortunately, the treatment was unsuccessful. In her final days in the hospital, Elyas tried to come to terms with the pain and sorrow from her past. Her eyes reflected both hope and farewell. Her tears remained as a memory of the darkness and struggles she had faced. Elyas's death brought great sorrow to the town. Everyone reflected on the pain she had endured and the struggles she had faced. Elyas had finally found peace, but the marks she left behind and the memories of her life made a deep impact on the heart of the town. Elyas's death was not just a story of a young girl, but a testament to the pain and resilience she had shown. Her life and departure remained as a poignant memory filled with love, sorrow, and hope.